Hi. Okay, here we are on week 3 of curriculum assessment and evaluation. I hope you are enjoying the reading as much as I am. This book by Diane Rakovich is interesting. She's got some great ideas. Not always sure that I agree with her, but some interesting ideas and views on assessment and teacher preparation this week that I think you'll enjoy. I do appreciate you turning in your papers online on time. I had a good time reading them. That's how I spend my Friday night and my Saturday morning. They were excellent. You had some really great ideas and some points as you developed your personal creed for education, and I enjoyed reading those. Most of them were formatted correctly, which is great, which means you're learning your AP. The only problems I did see were on a few of the reference pages. So I even still take out my manual on APA formatting and have it with me whenever I'm doing it. It is not something you're going to memorize, so just realize that you're not going to memorize it, because it's different for if you're quoting something from a book as compared to getting something from a video online, and it's complicated, so just have that book with you when you're doing that. Just a good guide to have with you. Alright, so this week we're talking about assessments, and you know, assessments has, in the last few years, been very, very hard for us because they've been so punitive with Nickleby. You know, we've had our schools go into, at least my schools, go into program improvement, even though we're making gains, still not making the gains that they want us to, or having a subgroup fall below what needs to be happening for kids. But remember, we've had a long history of assessments where teachers or schools or even districts developed their own assessments for a long time, and they used that just to gauge how well the children were achieving. As we moved into more statewide assessments that were reported to the newspapers, and we were held accountable for that, testing, you know, raised that anxiety for us as we move forward with it. And I'm not sure that Nickleby will, or SBAC will be reducing our anxiety. I'm anxious to see how we're going to use the data from those assessments and use them well for schools instead of beating people up over them. What improvements can we make for, you know, in the way that we teach, and helping kids learn the material that they want that we need them to learn as we move forward, instead of just having it be a gatekeeper or having it be a negative thing for folks. You know, if this school's not scoring very well or doesn't, you know, have the achievement that other schools do, what can we do to support them and give them the resources they need? We all know that children in poorer areas need more resources in the schools, and we have not provided those. We've been mean to those teachers and beat them up about it, but we haven't provided mental health professionals at those places where, you know, they may be very well needed, or extra people at the school to help out with management from children that comes from homes that are very unstable, and we need to support those teachers rather than beat them up. So it'll be interesting to see how SBAC, Nickleby, SBAC, how SBAC is used, since it's going to be a national norming, you know, norming scored test, to see how we compare to other regions with other children who have the same economic resources that we do. So interesting. We'll see how it goes. I'm hoping that teachers will be able to step up, and educators step up and say how these assessments will be used rather than politicians, because as we know, when politicians get involved, it doesn't turn out well for schools. We also have to remember that assessments have always been used as gatekeepers for kids, and we need to be able to prepare them to take tests, because they're going to be taking tests no matter what they do. They've been used as gatekeepers to get into college, to get into honors programs, to keep kids out of certain things. We also know as people move up in their professions or move up through college, there are tests that they have to pass to get into certain professions. If you want to be a police officer, you have to pass a test to be a police officer. So if we don't prepare our children to take tests, we're not preparing them for life, because there's lots of times where they have to pass a test to get the job, or even get into the program to get the job. So assessments are important, and we have to give our kids the skills in order to get, you know, achieve the dreams that they want to have. All right. So Diane also brings up the idea that it's not just the teacher's responsibility to prepare children for education and to hold them accountable for tests, but also we've got to figure out a way how to make parents feel a little bit accountable for it too. Parents have a huge influence on how well their children are going to do on tests, and also the children themselves. There was a high school where the high school seniors went to the principal and said, you know, we'll do really well on this STAR test, but we want a senior patio. And the principal said, no, we're not making a deal. You just take your test and, you know, we'll see what happens. And the senior said, no, we want the deal. If you don't tell us that you'll build that patio for us, then we're going to fail the test. And the principal, of course, said, we're not making a deal. And the kids bombed the test on purpose because they realized it had nothing to do with them. They weren't held accountable for it, but they could hold the school hostage for it. Smart children. Not a great idea to do, but they knew what they were doing. They knew that they could get something for it. I bet that administrator the next year made a deal. All right. This week we're going to meet at 7 o'clock online. So make sure 7 o'clock was what most of you said worked for you. So we'll do 7 o'clock. Gather your thoughts on assessment. And you had some great things in your paper, so you might want to go back and read what you wrote about assessment. Think about how we should be using it in the future. The other thing that we're going to talk about is literacy throughout the disciplines in Common Core and what that looks like and what it means. Kind of a duh. Yeah, everybody's a literacy teacher, but let's talk about that because some of our colleagues don't quite understand that yet, but we do. All right, so have a great week. Get your readings done. We've got chapter 8 and 9 in the Rakovich book, and watch those videos. I enjoy listening or reading your posts online, and keep up the good work. Have a great week.